Good evening. My name is Helen Nadel. I live at 15 Woodbrook Lane. I wanted to talk tonight about two of the concerns that I have about this proposed project. The first one is really the loss of affordable housing, and the second has to do with the housing density, which I think Rob very eloquently discussed, just naming the fact that this project will preclude other projects that are mixed use and dense potentially, that are a better fit for both the needs and the stated values articulated in the zoning code of Swarthmore. I also want to say that I am pro housing density, I am pro development, and I am pro a vibrant Swarthmore. I have lived here for 13 years, and since moving here, I've supported new projects at every turn, from the roundabout to the inn, to the liquor licenses that help stabilize our co-op, and also created opportunities for new businesses. I'm thrilled about the new shops and restaurants and pop-up eateries that have flourished, and I can't wait for the new Ship's Bottom Blendery and Beer Garden and the revitalized community center in town. As for the new proposed development on Park Avenue, I am concerned that it's being considered in a vacuum rather than as part of a comprehensive strategy for development in our town. Here is my vision for housing density and development downtown. I do see a multi-story building or set of buildings with potentially both high and moderately priced units. Seniors who have the means to stay in Swarthmore can do so. And single parent families or families whose adults work in a range of professions could live there too. I imagine affordable retail spaces with thriving businesses and a whole lot of green building efforts that you so clearly articulated. This is not the development, though, that is coming to Swarthmore, but it could be. There have been some attempts to think broadly about the future shape of downtown that were, outlined by Mr. Cumby and by others. Most notably, the 2018 Swarthmore Town Center, Swarthmore 2030 plan. That plan, as Rob detailed, recommended up to 100 housing units for active adults and seniors, and up to 80 units for families, with guidance for pricing, as Rob said, in the $250,000 to $450,000 range. In order to have more moderately priced housing, we need to create the conditions that can foster it. And across the country, there are places like Arlington, Massachusetts, the small town of Norwich, Vermont, that have identified some of these strategies to enable a smart housing mix that includes both high-end and less expensive options. Ideas other towns have adopted include 10 to 15% set-asides in the middle income price range for new developments over 10 units, tax incentives for green building practices like those in the PA Renewable Energy Project Grant, missing middle developments, which are house-scale, multiple unit buildings with commercial options in walkable neighborhoods. Accessory dwelling units allowed in 10 to 15% of housing stock in any zone. And incentives to attract and retain small businesses and the arts like those recently created in Aston. There are tons of ideas out there, and there are very smart and very committed people on the Planning Commission and throughout town who could take a deep, deep dive into these comps and these questions and these solutions and create a plan. That so many people in Swarthmore are experiencing confusion and shock about the current proposal is in itself evidence that our town needs a comprehensive land use plan. The loss of 8 affordable apartments and perhaps 2 beloved businesses indicate that we must have a plan before we lose our capacity for new projects that would align with our town's values, articulated in the zoning code, around racial and economic diversity and affordability for small businesses. Many communities have plans like these, besides their zoning codes, which help guide what kind of development works for their towns. We need one that works for ours. It's really important to all of us that we get this right.